the argument that there is no women's PPE available, that's why we can't provide it to you. Sorry. No, that's not really there anymore. Now we are here, and that is becoming a more of a known thing. That awareness has created a desire among people to get involved in it.
There are a lot of other women-focused agencies. We want to create that platform where it is a total resource for anyone that's in the industry.
Welcome to the Still Building America podcast with your co-hosts Josh Welton
and Darla Welton. Americans haven't forgotten how to work with our hands. There's a dynamic generation of young fabricators, blacksmiths, machinists, welders, hot rod builders, metal workers, manufacturing entrepreneurs, and artists who are still building America.
It's that time of year again. Time for all students pursuing a manufacturing-related degree in a 2- or 4-year program to apply for a scholarship from FMA's foundation, SparkForce. Eligible students can receive up to $3,500 per year for their program. Applications for fall 2025 are being accepted until March 31st. Get all the details and apply today at fmamfg.org.
We are thrilled to have today's guests, Emily Soloby of Juno Jones Safety Footwear brand, as well as the Hazard Girls podcast. And I actually previously introduced our Fabricator.com audience to Emily back in 2021 when I interviewed her for the Still Building America column. And then we also have Kelly Franko of Serafina Safety Apparel with us. This is the first time that Kelly and I are meeting, and it's so great to connect with her. So today we get to learn about how their companies, along with several other manufacturers, have joined forces to advocate for and raise awareness about proper fitting PPE for women and all workers in need of better safety solutions. So I'm going to have each of you just share a little bit about your businesses, and then we'll jump into what AWSAM is all about. Let's start with you, Kelly. Tell us about Serafina Safety Apparel.
Thank you, Darla. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the podcast. I'm very excited about this. And so Serafina Safety Apparel, we manufacture flame-resistant undergarments and base layers for women in industrial occupations to provide a second layer of, or maybe a next to skin, second skin option so that if something were to break through the primary layer, we still got your skin covered.
Ooh, yes, that is such a thoughtful product and definitely a need across multiple industries. Emily, why don't you tell us about your business and projects?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me back, Darla. This is really fun. It's great to see you again. Well, my company, as you mentioned, is Juno Jones. We make safety boots especially for women's feet. And you mentioned that I have a few projects. Well, part of Juno Jones is the Hazard Girls podcast, where we podcast about women in various non-traditional or male-populated, we like to say, industries, sharing their stories. And of course, we have our new nonprofit organization, which we will be talking about today with you. And we're really excited to fill you in on what we've been up to.
Oh, yes. As soon as I saw the announcement about this on Facebook, I was so excited and reached out to Emily and said, let's set up an interview. I want to know all about this. So tell me everything.
We're very excited about it. Really what we aspired to do was to create a platform for manufacturers and companies that are manufacturing products specifically for women so that collaboratively our voices could be heard as an organization and increase exposure so ladies, can actually be aware of products that are out there rather than just addressing the need for it. We really want to change the approach and say, look, okay, we heard you, we're here. Here's, an organization that's really highlighting these companies so that we increase access for all of our products.
That's incredible. And the name of this is AWSAM. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's literally awesome. It's an acronym, AWSAM, which is Alliance of Women's Safety Apparel Manufacturers.
Yes.
And I'm so impressed and inspired that so many of you have decided to come together to form this organization. I see the need for it. I belong to several Facebook groups and other chat groups in the industry, and it amazes me how many women, and the groups I belong to are women specific, are not aware of the brands that are already out there. I mean, almost every day somebody's like, "Hi, I'm new in the industry and I don't know, where to get pants or where to buy boots or whatever." And I'm still shocked at the number of women who have been in the industry for a while who say, "Well, I have to buy these men's boots or I buy or wear these men's pants." And I'm like, "No, there's so many amazing companies out there now. And now they've joined forces in this really unique way." So I mean, I actually just signed up for your ally membership.
Oh,
I
great.
was like,
Thank you.
"What is this? This is so cool." I'm fangirling because I'm very excited to see that you are working together to bring awareness and access and the advocacy. So tell me a little bit more about how this happened. Like, how did you decide we need this, and we need this for women across multiple industries like this?
Well, there are many brands that do kind of what we do, and we always were working together in various ways. Some of us were collaborating together on social media posts or fashion shows, and they're actually women's workwear shows, but sometimes they're called fashion shows for fun. But yeah, we'd be collaborating on these different things, and we'd be talking to each other all the time about issues. Kelly Franko, who's on this call with us, of course, and Dave Rosenbluth, we're talking a lot about getting all of us together in a more formalized way and connecting us. And I don't know, Kelly, if you want to talk about how that happened. I know it has a little bit to do with when Kelly first organized a gathering at one of the conferences.
Yes, it was interesting. So, originally I did a girls' night because I wasn't able to have a booth yet at that particular trade show. So I did a girls' night in my hotel room, had 12 ladies that showed up, 7 stayed till after midnight. We were just kind of really having a good time. So, but the next year I just invited, again, like Emily said, several of us had been connecting anyway, and I invited a couple others to participate and making it bigger. And it became a whiskey and women's PPE event. And it was actually at that particular time when Dave Rosenbluth and I were at lunch. It was the first time we had met in person. And I was just sharing with him my backgrounds in healthcare. And I was sharing with him a similar type of organization I had been a part of. And I said, really, it was about what we call co-opetition. Yes, there were competitors among, that was all of us were competitor. Well, not, on the manufacturing side, everybody was competitors. Those of us on the medical boutique side, weren't necessarily competitors, but yet it brought all of the manufacturers into one spot so that when we got together, we could see what all the options were for our patients. And so he and I talked about that. I said, it'd be great if we could do something similar. And because so many others were at that same trade show, we just said, okay, let's get a meeting, and let's see what everybody thinks about this and, what would this look like? And we took it from there.
That's incredible. And I love what is and I'm sorry, it was Dave Rosenbluth?
Yes, he's with Utility Pro.
With Utility Pro. So I also love that there is male representation here too, really stepping up and supporting, sponsoring what you're doing, because that's important.
We're strong proponents that the organization itself doesn't have to be gender-based. It's what we're doing. We're promoting inclusivity, and male allies are a crucial component of that. So of course, we're really happy for all of our male members to join us.
That's amazing. So what are sort of your future, like immediate and future goals for the organization?
Oh my gosh, where do we start? So one of the things that we're getting together to work on is we met at ASSP, which was the conference that Kelly was just talking about, the American Society of Safety Professionals. Our goal is to have our own booth at these conferences so that when people come to the conferences from the safety industry and from various industries, they won't just see our individual brands booths or lack of, but they'll see our whole organization and they'll understand our presence based on that. And that will help our awareness, access, and advocacy mission. And we also have some other things we're working on. We're working on creating standards that the industry can use at large to understand what really does comprise inclusive PPE for women. Is it just that it's smaller, or is it just that it's colored pink? No, we're all against pink it and shrink it. So we want to lay out that standard so that it can be universally recognized.
Wow, your team is definitely looking to put together some incredible resources for multiple industries when it comes to PPE.
Mm-hmm. I think really when we get together and we start talking, like Emily said, there's so many things that, and we're like, okay, that's down the road, right? Here's where we're starting. So let's keep moving forward. But, even being able to create space where scholarships are possible, right? So in addition to our ally members, we have affiliate members. There were 12 of us that came together as founding members. And then from there, we bring on affiliate members, which are others manufacturing products for women. And then, what's really important is corporate memberships and getting companies. And we were blessed with our event this year in having so many companies show up in support of our launch. And that support was through sponsorships of our whiskey and women's PPE. And, moving forward, it's connecting with those companies that see the need, understand, and want to be involved, and just saying, okay, what else is there that we're going to do? And as Emily mentioned, having that standard in place so that it's a point of reference, it helps companies identify what they should be looking for instead of just having a pink and shrink option. So I think really that educational piece, being able to offer webinars on our own, as well as collaborating with others and other organizations and working, because as you mentioned too, Darla, there are a lot of other women focused agencies, so to speak. So really, it all just comes together. Like, we want to create that platform where it is a total resource for anyone that's in the industry to be able to say, okay, here's what we should be looking for, and here's places that we can go, and here's other organizations that support these causes. So really, we have a huge vision. It's just, mapping it out so that we can make sure we get there.
Gosh, yes, this is fantastic. And, to me, it sets precedents for other things that I'm always thinking about. Like, Still Building America is not just a column or a podcast. It's our passion project that aims to provide opportunities and encourages the next generation to consider skilled trades and expose them to tools and working with their hands. We want to create opportunities for the younger generation to explore careers and pathways that might interest them, give them direction, give them dreams, inspire creativity. However, a major barrier to providing experiences for younger people is often PPE. So when we see that 10 years ago, there was nothing for women, maybe small size welding gloves, but now there are several companies designing for women, for our hands, for our feet, for our curves and height. It's encouraging to see that change. So what I was saying about setting a precedent, I hope this inspires a person, a company to think about kids going into high schools and seeing students in our own welding workshops. The PPE is often just way too big. And we know that it's a safety issue as we're clipping gloves together, putting thicker beanies on heads to keep hoods on, tying hairbands at the back of welding jackets so they aren't too baggy. The kids want to play with fire. They have the capacity to do it. They think it's really cool, but they don't always have the proper PPE. So what I see is awesome. The organization is really moving multiple industries forward and creating opportunities and hopefully setting the stage for the next thing. You're filling a gap in safety and helping industries understand that proper PPE is critical to reducing injuries. And one of your social media posts said that inclusive safety gear isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And that could not be more true. I'm, if you couldn't tell, just absolutely thrilled about your message and your mission.
Oh, great.
And
Thank
you
you.
just launched Awesome back in August, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
August.
Yeah. I had to think for a minute. Yes, the beginning of August, we at ASSP.
And have you seen more people become interested in the membership sponsorship aspect of it since then?
We have, especially thank you for joining as an ally member. And that's the one area that it seems we, continue to see new people coming in and wanting to learn more and be a part of it and, find out ways they can be involved, which goes back to your question about, what's our vision. So, part of that too is how do we involve our ally members? Because it is a big responsibility, so to speak, in terms of being able to keep going forward. And if we have all of these people coming forward and saying, yes, I want to be a part of it, it's like, then we want to engage and say, absolutely, here's what we need help with. All of us are business owners and have things going on, so that the requirements of time and dedication to the nonprofit, it's coming out of our personal time as well. So, but
Right.
because it's such a passion project for everybody, we're like, oh, who cares? We got to make this happen. And it's like, so, the more people involved, the better. So, we really have that launch. We could not have asked for a better launch. We had anticipated a 200 was our cap. We anticipated, and then we ended up raising that because we kept getting more people wanting to come. And our final total was 356. So it was just an amazing, amazing event. And people stayed, I think, all the way through. We kept saying, well, people will come and go, and not everybody will be there at once, but I think everybody was there at once. And
Yeah, we did have a lot of people there, and I think the excitement was palpable, and it still is palpable. We're getting, more and more followers on social media. We're getting outreach and emails. And I think, it's really a culmination of, as you mentioned, Darla, this really only started with women focused and designed brands in maybe the last 5 years or so. Before that, there wasn't much out there at all. Over the past 5 years, a lot of our companies have started to grow. So now it's been about 5 years, half a decade, right? And we're starting to see that culmination where the awareness is starting to pop up, in other parts, like in corporate America and other places other than our little interest groups, right? So now that people are realizing, oh, this is a thing, it's out there, the argument that there is no women's PPE available, that's why we can't provide it to you. Sorry. No, that's not really there anymore. Now we are here, and that is becoming a more of a known thing. So that awareness has created a desire among people to get involved in it. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with the launch of our organization.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it drew me in, and I signed up, today when I realized, I guess I didn't, when I was looking at it before, I didn't realize, I thought it was more like corporate level sponsorships, but I mean, there's a place for even an individual. And I'm going to take a look at I forget, was it the corporate member for our welding business, but I just went ahead. I mean, it was $10 to become an ally member. I was like, why would I not do that? I'm so excited about this. I am so excited about what this already is and what it could be for the future and will be, I should say. And especially to see what was the word that you used, Kelly? It was the cooperative competitiveness.
Yeah. Coopetition.
Coopetition. Yes.
Yes.
I love that because it feels like, I mean, competition is good to begin with. It sort of pushes us, pushes our creativity, ideation, all of it. It's a good thing. But then when you're working together in some capacity too, that really makes it even more powerful. And I do feel like a lot of the brands that I see that are associated with Awesome already, I printed out your little brochure, cover gals, Dawson Workwear, Dovetail, Ember, Helga, Juno Jones, Sentinel, Serafina Safety, Spectra, Utility Pro, Xena Workwear, all amazing brands. And there's some crossover there, with like FR Pants or whatever it might be. But just like I feel like the regular fashion industry, different brands fit a little differently or, but it looks like it's so cool to see the growing number of businesses where I can shop to find pants that will, fit my hips. And then I love Kelly with Serafina. I was looking at your website the other day and you have an FR bra, which is so cool. I didn't even know that existed, but I want women to know like this exists. And that is a crucial safety thing. I mean, nobody wants to get burnt there.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's just such a brilliant thing. And I'm sure down the road, I don't know, maybe somebody else is already, making FR bras too. But actually, I'm really curious what inspired an FR bra.
It's interesting. So, my background, like I had mentioned, is medical. So I was in the post-mastectomy world, helping ladies with surgical garments and undergarments, after breast surgery. And we also drag race. And so at the one PRI, which is the motorsports trade show, we were actually at Lincoln Electric's booth. And our buddy that we race with didn't know the medical side of what I do. And I was having a conversation and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You don't know I do bras." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, can you make a flame resistant bra?" And my husband right away said, "Sure she can," and it was like, I was kind of dumbfounded because I'm like, my whole world was bras, right? So I was like, what do you mean? Why would you need one? Thinking, why isn't there one already? And so that's really what got me to be even aware of the need for something like that. And then I just kind of diverted and left the healthcare.
Was that your first product?
Yes. So the hook and eye bra was the first product. We actually have a utility patent on that one now. So
cool.
Again, coming from that world, because I had retail boutiques as well. So I knew the fit, the style, the design that I would make that would work and support all sizes. So the hook and eye, we go from an A to a J cup, 32 to 48, and I can take it to anywhere because it's my pattern. So, but again, going back to the inclusivity, it's small through extra large doesn't work for everyone. So
nope.
We wanted to make sure that it was going to be available for every lady could get what they needed.
Wow, that is so cool.
And it's kind of funny because I say, when you're trying to go like from the medical and fashion side where all kinds of things are available to create with, you go into this space of trying to find, like, you have 3 things to MacGyver this bra with, right? And say, okay, I'm gonna create fit, support, and comfort with these 3 things. And we were fortunate to find some great ones.
I absolutely love that. And that so well represents also what Still Building America is about, which is doing things differently and innovating. And who would have thought that we needed this? I mean, I'm sure it's crazy on a lot of these groups that I belong to online, what women will do to protect themselves, or they'll double up on like a sports bra or something like that. And it's just so cool that there is a better option out there. Thank you for that. I'm going to be going and shopping after this. Seriously, I'm so excited about that. And of course, you have other apparel too. Serafina has other apparel. And I know Emily Juno Jones has just blown up since the last time that we spoke, which is incredible. So many of the things that you talked about doing, including having men's safety boots, shoes, is happening now. So, and I think that was like 3 years ago or so that I had interviewed you. So it's incredible to see how much growth that Juno Jones has experienced.
Yeah, I think when we first interviewed him, we may have only had one style because we
Yes.
launched on Kickstarter back then, 2020.
Yes.
And we only did it with one style because it was really all about crowdfunding and people supporting us and backing us and saying they wanted this product. Well, we funded on the first day that we launched it, and so we knew that people wanted the product. But we had our money for our manufacturing run from that support, and so we launched that first product. But people were asking us, well, what about this design? We want lace ups, and what about a taller boot? And there's so many different options out there that we wanted to make. But yeah, thankfully we've been able to grow at a really nice pace, creating new designs for people to meet different style preferences, different industries, different safety features that are needed. And as you mentioned, we also do have a men's line now. We have throughout the whole process, I mean, world's smallest violin that men are left out, right? But
Right.
because I don't think they are, but we had a lot of requests from men for boots, and we had the opportunity to launch that with JJ Keller and Associates, who is they provide all kinds of PPE for different industries, including construction and also the trucking industry. And they were really interested in launching our women's boots, but they needed a men's boot as well. So we collaborated with them to create our men's line. And so now we are serving, both men and women, and why not?
My husband, every time I have 2 pairs of Juno Jones boots, and every time I wear either one, wherever we are, if we're not out in our shop and I'm out and about wearing my boots, which look very well worn now, he's always like, look at her boots. Aren't they cool? And, every time I wear my Medi boots, he's like, oh, I wish I had a pair like that. Those are so cool.
They're
And
coming. They're coming, Josh. We're gonna be doing a men's Medi boot.
that's amazing. It's such a great boot. I sometimes will just throw it on with jeans because I don't know, it just has the right sort of like worn rustic look now that I like sometimes. So yeah, I have those, and I have the serpentine.
Serpentine,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, which I love. It's incredible to see. I mean, with both of your companies, you started with the Medi boot, and then Kelly, you started with the FR bra, and how you're expanding and what you're doing, how you're growing, how you're meeting needs, and wants for the men. But honestly, I mean, my husband likes to wear the tank style undershirts. I don't like to call them what they were formerly
Thank
called,
you.
and
Thank
I am not going to even say it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the ribbed tank. I don't see any FR ones out there. I'm just throwing that out there for whoever could be listening, like an FR tank to wear under something.
We'll have to modify our women's version.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly, if you're comfortable sharing, where do you source your FR materials?
So we use Carbonex is our primary fabric that we use because it is resistant. It repels extreme heat, fire, and molten metal. It's super soft and non-toxic. So when we're, again, coming from healthcare, it was very important to me to make sure that whatever we used, especially given that it was going to be against delicate tissue and sensitive areas, that there were no chemical components or anything that would be absorbed through the skin. So Carbonex fits that bill great because it's a super soft knit that we're able to work with into all of our product lines. And then on the protective side, given that it is cross-industry, it's actually from an ARC rating standpoint, it's a Cat 2 with a ATPV of 17. So it's so far
Wow.
greater than, a lot of the other fabrics, but, it was originally designed actually for racing too. So it's, it gives you that time to escape the danger. So if someone was trapped in a car that was on fire, it gave people time to, get there and get the person out before something would get through to their skin. So yeah, that's that. So we do source that through, and then we manufacture everything here in the States. So we're set up in Utah, and then also I'm in Ohio, so we do some of our cut and sew. Our bras are made here in Ohio. Also outside of Philadelphia is our other cut and sew.
You just earned a really big fan.
Yay! We love fans.
You're reminding me of something, Kelly, when you're talking about your manufacturing. The AWSAM group has a member, is Lisa a founding member from Kosovo? Well, she's one of our very active members, and the name of her company is Kosovo Workwear. And part of what she has done as a member is partner with all of us in the organization to get our products onto her mobile store. It's a mobile unit that travels around, and it can go really anywhere. So if a company wants her to come to their workplace, Lisa's company, Kosovo, can travel to that workplace, and then all of our products are available through Kosovo. And they also partner with many large companies like Cargill and companies like that. But they can go to various sizes companies in various locations. And it just reminded me because Kelly was talking about manufacturing in the U.S., which a lot of their products are manufactured in the U.S. So if that's a requirement, they do carry a lot of that.
What a way to be able to get the products out in front of people. I'm a very sensory driven person, so I do love to touch fabrics and having the ability to go through and look and touch boots and shoes and the pieces that'll be up against my skin. I love having the ability to do that still. So and how convenient for a corporation just to say, hey, bring in the mobile unit. We've got some women that want to come and check it out. I love that. And what a great way for a corporation to really support their women employees too. I mean, that is a question that we hear in conversations a lot is how do we become better allies with women in our industry? What do we do? And that is an incredible way these companies can support the women employees. So what a really cool thing to offer.
Yeah, and that's Kosovo. It's COSAWOV.
Kosovo. Okay, got it. Employers, write that one down. That is a very important resource that you can go to for your women employees who need better fitting PPE. Wow, this is so great. And I'm so proud to be a member now and be a part of it. I so respect these companies joining together, setting aside hardcore competitiveness to say, hey, we've got to join together. Yeah. This will make us all better, stronger, more successful in the long run. That's women at our best, Right. I love to see it. I love to see the excitement that both of you have. I'm picking up on that, and I can't wait to, carry that out into my world. Do you think you'll be holding any more events coming up? Or
at this particular time, our first trade show that we'll be at as an organization will be the NSC show. That'll be our first booth as AWSAM. And then leading up to that, as I mentioned, we're working on getting a schedule together for our webinars and educational opportunities between now and then. And then that standard, that's really top of list right now, is working with our advisors and other experts in the industries to create this standard as an inclusive way to look at and what to look for in women's PPE. And then, trying to get another women in whiskey or whiskey and women's PPE event probably at NSC. So
or at ASSP.
Well, right. ASSP will be our next event, our next whiskey and women's PPE.
That is sure to be another fantastic event. Well, ladies, thank you for all of the work that you and the rest of your team are doing at AWSAM. Thank you for filling gaps and also for hopefully inspiring someone else to pick up the torch and fill other gaps in accessibility and safety. This work is crucial to seeing industries move forward. So thank you, Emily and Kelly, once again for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. This has been great.
Darla, thank you so much for having us, and also for all of the work that you're doing, helping young people, getting them involved in the trades. And I love your ideas about how us doing this and working on these issues for women really does pave the way for working on these issues for other groups as well. So hopefully we can be serving, some of the population you're talking about as well as others. So we really appreciate that too.
I absolutely believe that it will. So tell us, how can people listening stay up to date with what AWSAM is doing?
So our website is awesam.org, AWSAM.org, and that has links to everything about us that we have developed right now.
Yes.
That is a work in progress. Our website is always evolving, but there, individuals will be able to find more information about membership, but also about our vision, our mission, and what we're working on right now.
You can also find us on LinkedIn at awesome.org.
Okay. Well, again, ladies, thank you so much. Keep doing what you do, mostly being awesome.
It just works so well, doesn't it?
Thanks again for listening to the Still Building America podcast. Josh and I hope that you'll continue to follow the AWSAM group and all that they're doing. I did want to mention that since recording the podcast, the AWSAM org, along with the Safety Rack, which is another organization supporting workwear equity in multiple industries, held a campaign and a survey called My Body, My PPE. And in the second week of March 2025, they released their Equity and Safety Report, which was a global report on women's access to proper PPE. Along with learning that 70.4% of women do not have access to female-specific PPE, the report also shares key findings from industry professionals and workers, the real impact of poorly fitted PPE on women's safety, and actionable recommendations for employers and manufacturers. It isn't just data, it's a call to action. The Safety Rack and the AWSAM Group say that the report enhances the conversations we need to be having with employers, manufacturers, and distributors, and we couldn't agree more. To download and read the full free report, go to thesafetyrack.org/resources. We are still building America, and we need to do it safely. Thank you again for listening to the Still Building America podcast.
Still Building America is a production of Fabricators and Manufacturers Association and part of the FMA Podcast Network. The podcast is hosted and created by Darla and Josh Welton. Episodes are produced and edited by Gareth Slager and Darla Welton. Additional production support by Dan Davis, Andy Flando, Dana Weicker, Mike Owens, Billy Culpa, Elizabeth Gavin, and me, Sarah Spring. Thank you for listening.
World's smallest violin.
hop into the Wayback Machine